Well, it's Monday, folks, and we have part two market report. This time we're covering fancy serial numbers. And good gracious, guys. The last 24 hours of activity has been absolutely insane. Insane in the membrane. Yeah, does anybody still say that other than me? Okay. All right, fine. It's just me. But there's no denying that these these notes that sold in the last 24 hours, they just came out of nowhere. And we have about 15 to 20 of them to talk about today. Yeah, if you guys are not searching straps and bills and anything like that, you guys are missing out. You know, people are still, people are still, stepping over $100 bill to get that $1 bill. What I mean by that, there's a lot of people that still prefer to hunt through half-dollar boxes in the hopes of finding that 190% silver, when all along the big cash grab has been in our wallets this whole time. But a new note just came in today that I wanted to share with you. That's going into my PC. Hopefully we could find the match. Yeah, you probably have an idea of what I'm talking about here. 2013B duplicate star note. This is a Fort Worth. Check out the serial number on that bad boy. 19 right in the middle. So this one's a PCGS banknote, very fine 25. My boy Shannon entered this one into the census. So maybe, just maybe, there might be the Washington, D.C. Uh, same serial number that we could pair up with this one. That would be epic because of the serial number. The serial number is just awesome. I just had to have it. But anyways, we have just a ridiculous lineup of notes. Again, you've heard me say it. You don't need to grade these things. Just sell it just as they are. These things sell ragtaggedy. Just they look like crap, like this $20 bill that we're about ready to talk about here today, along with a few others. All right. These notes have a lot of liquidity across all grades. And that's the good news. These things sell really well. And you don't have to throw it up as a buy now. You're going to find that a lot of the notes today were put up as auctions. They were bid up organically from the first bid all the way up to, in this case, 13 bids on this 2013 $20 bill. Check out the serial number on there. It's a 2-digit radar. All right, so this one sold for $76.99. I'm not going to add the shipping, but just realize that there are shipping fees involved that go into the cost of the item. So if you're going to say, I paid X amount for this, okay, you want to add in the shipping because that's how much it costs to have ownership of the note. But check this one out. I mean, really cool. Radar, binary, serial, 2-digit, whatever you want to call it. 6 of a kind zeros, but radars read the same way front and backwards. Usually the first 4 numbers read mirrored on the second set of 4 numbers on that serial number string. But the note is not pretty at all, It looks like I just pulled this sucker out of my wallet and threw it up on eBay. Took a quick little Android camera photo of this thing and let it fly. Now, traditionally, this is the point of the video where I tell you, just realize that with higher denomination notes like a $20 bill, you're not going to make nearly as much as opposed to, say, if this was a $1 bill or a 2 or a 5. There's so much more profit that's involved with selling those lower denom notes. Now, would I go and spend this thing or toss it aside? No, probably not. I would still keep it as long as I know it has some sort of secondary market demand. Rest assured, I will be selling it. So a really great note to kind of kick things off here. Check that out. The seller only has one feedback, so people put a load of faith on this person that they are going to deliver, and of course they're backed by eBay. So whatever happens, they could get their money back if things don't quite work out the way they should. So that's that first note there. The second one that we have here is what they call low serial number fancy. Now, traditionally, I don't like talking about graded notes. I accidentally put this one in here. I showed you my duplicate star, serial number 19 or 19,000, which is a really low, or I'm not going to say really low serial number. Normally, with low serial numbers, me personally, at the very least, I want to see four leading zeros and then whatever digit corresponds with that. This is five leading zeros you see here, and it's a really cool number too, 911. All right, so it's an emergency line. It could harken back yeah, that fateful day in 2001. Things like that. There's a lot of historical meaning with this serial number, and it does appeal to a lot of people. And again, you don't have to grade these things because it's going to cost you $25 to $40 to grade a note. You just have to be careful that you're not pouring good money into bad with that. And $199. That's how much the seller wanted for it. Therefore, that was their minimum price that they're willing to accept, and someone actually put a bid in. So, bam, finished sale on that bad boy there. The next one that we have here, another $20 bill, but I love the result of this one. So the higher denomination really doesn't hurt the overall value of this one. If anything, it probably enhances it a little bit because there's a distinct difference in appearance between a $20 bill and a one. And I'm not just talking about the president that's on there or the number signifying the denomination, but the $20 bills in all are prettier because they're colorized. They have vivid, bright inks, and yeah, it's very attractive. So this low digit 68 out of all things, that's really gnarly. It's a star note too. Star note, low digit serial number. So there's a lot of things playing positively into this one. It's a 2017A series, by the way. 35 bids, $364.76. Again, the possibilities are endless here, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine finding a full bank strap of all the low serial numbers from 1 all the way to 101? I mean, that would be awesome. And you better believe that strap, I'm going to have a lot of questions. Do I grade each note or should I just grade the strap and sell it as it is? You're going to accept a little bit less money by grading the strap by itself as opposed to grading each note. Now, you're going to end up spending about $3,000, if not more, to grade the entire strap as singular notes, kind of like this right here. So just realize that you're going to be investing a lot more money into that process, into the product, before you even sell it. So very impressive. And the note is crisp, uncirculated, I would say. I don't see any folds or anything crazy. I do see a little edge teller kind of marker swipe, which is commonplace, just to make sure that the strap is legit and it's not counterfeit. So a pretty monstrous sale right there, but it's not the most monstrous for this week. We also have this one, which is I call this one an almost. This is an almost. I mean, you can make the argument that it is a fancy, but it's one digit away from being just legendary. 2017A $100 bill. Again, my stance on high denomination still applicable here on this one. I would venture to guess that even finding this same serial number on a $1 or a $2 bill is just as impactful, and you could sell it for just as much money. But in any event, $410 on this one, with 2 bids collected, was the final tally. But check out the serial number. It's a 7-digit ladder in order. So unfortunately, the first digit's not a 1, it's a 0. And it skips to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's really epic. That's cool. Again, just because you're one number off doesn't mean it has to be cast away into purgatory or, at Nordstrom Rack. None of that stuff. You could still sell this note for many multiples of face value, even if it's one number off. So keep that in mind. And again, the note is a little bit circulated. It has a really, really hard centerfold on this one. We're not talking Hugh Hefner's Playboy here, but we're talking a really sharp centerfold. Okay, so Again, condition matters minimally on a note like this, where it's a true rarity. $400 is a really good sale. Here's one that got swiped up as, I believe, a buy it now. $69.99, free ship. Uh, say 4-digit, low serial number, but it's also a flipper. So if you take the note, flip it upside down, the nines and sixes and zeros all read correctly upside down. All right. So if you had one that had, say, a bunch of fives on there and then you flip it over, the fives will not read as fives when they're upside down. All right. So that's kind of like the definition of a flipper. Zeros, nines, and sixes really only apply. Eights, maybe minor, but the top bubble of the eight is slightly smaller than the bottom booty half of the eight. All right, and that's why generally we don't put eights in as flippers. But the nines, sixes, and zeros, they all have the same shape and size, even when it's flipped upside down. And ultimately, the low serial number and the fact that it's a flipper, and collectors love flippers. I haven't really thought about it as being anything major to anyone, but apparently it works out. So a quick, easy $70 sale on this. This is a $2 bill. Looks to be crisp and circulated fresh. Looks very good. That's a really good sale right there. Next one that we have here, another low serial number on a Star Note $10 bill. A best offer was accepted here. We'll check out and see how much that did end up selling for. We're going to use 130point.com to find that data. But as you can see, 5 leading zeros, 637 is what we're working with here on this one. Note does have a little bit of circulation wear, but nothing too crazy. You put this one in a little currency sleeve. It's a flatten out really nice, and it's going to present very well. So there's no major like soiling or dirt or stains or anything like that you have to worry about. So before we check that out, let's go ahead and copy the entire listing title here. I have the website up already, so 130point.com. Generally used for sports cards, but you can use it on anything outside of that. So I use it on coins and currency. And our final determination on this one, $130 is the sale price on that one, which is this one here. So $130 plus $5 for shipping. That's your sales price for that one there. The next one that we have here, I want you guys to, if you haven't paid any attention, the end date on a lot of the auctions will show right here in blue. All right, so this one, July 9th, within the last 24 hours, just so I'm not lying to you. All right, we have 6 in a row sixes, and it's also a flipper. But the seller of this one didn't add the keyword flipper serial in there. But I think a lot of people were pretty privy to the type of serial number this is, and they already know what was going on. Because customarily, you don't see 6 in a row of any one digit being anything worthwhile that's going to garner $73 in bids. In this case, 20 bids for $73. But it's a really nice specimen. So again, you take the note, flip it upside down. The 9s and 6s all read the same way because they have the same type style. They just put them upside down. So there you go. That's a great looking note right there, and I don't see anything in the way of like circulation wear on this one, which is quite nice. So we got that one there. Next one that we have here is another radar. So this individual put it up for $40. That's the least that they were taking. One bid came in for it, so it was a confirmed sale. Radar. So it starts out 76000067. So this wonderful palindrome right here is in really nice shape. These are those currency sleeves I was telling you about. You can buy them in packs, either on Amazon or if you have a local coin shop. I know coin shows will have suppliers that sell things like these. But anyways, really good looking presentation. The reason why that this person took a picture of this note at an angle is the currency sleeve is glossy. So if you took it directly, more than likely you're going to have a large light spot on there, a glare issue that'll impede the overall look of the note. So you want to make sure you do just enough here so that way you can see most of the note. There's a little glare issue here, but it's quite minor. I'm not worried about it. It's a great looking note. $40 was the final sale on that one. Here's another one here. Binary 8s and 2s on a $20 bill. Again, high denom. $1 bills, $2 bills would sell pretty similarly to what this one sold for at $47. Fortunately, this person ended up putting 47, and that's what they got for it. They even accompanied the listing with also the My Currency Collection fancy serial number checker. So it's got a 99.51% coolness index. Some people like using this. Some people think it's just, arbitrary. Me personally, I like it as a tool. It helps kind of support the interest factor of the note if you were going to promote it on eBay or some other site. Some people don't give any credence to the coolness factor tool on My Currency Collection. I think it's just fine. All right, and it's a pretty welcome addition to these days, where they actually use some algorithms to figure out what the percentage coolness factor is. Anything above, I think, 95% is pretty good. So well done there. $47 would have taken it all day long. So good old Ronald is back with some killer notes. So he had a really crisp uncirculated true binary, zeros and ones, on this $2 bill. They ended up fetching 27 bids for $202.50. Beautiful, gorgeous looking note. I said crisp uncirculated, but it's got a very sharp centerfold, so it does have some wear to it. But all in all, beautiful note. What's even more crazy than this is that the same seller also has the consecutive next digit up in the serial number. So $201 with 37 bids for the next serial number up from that previous note we just looked at, and these are dated 2009. This one, however, appears to not have that sharp of a centerfold, okay, which is kind of crazy to me, because if they were together at any one point and then folded, put into the wallet, then both notes would have it. Why would one have it and one doesn't? And it's just beyond me. So really, really nice cherry pick here. Whoever found this was probably pretty ecstatic to find true binaries consecutive serial numbers. So really cool pairing there. I think maybe same person bought both notes. Not really sure. Could be the case. This was a note that not too many people really either think about or care. But this is they call these the millions notes, although this one does have a final digit, which is at 5. But normally it would be 1 or 2 digits and then either 6 or 7 consecutive zeros. In this particular case, you have 6 of a kind zeros that are socked up right in the middle, and then you have a 3 and 5 on the bookends. All right, so this one managed to grab $24.50 off of 10 bids. Nothing too crazy, but you can see that the note is pretty well circulated. All right, so I think the money that it was able to obtain from this sale is suitable. We have a 6 of a kind 7s coming up next on a dollar bill, 2009 dated series, 9 bids, $38. Again, this is the power of the lucky numbers. 7s and 8s, my friends, are very popularly collected, not only in our culture here, stateside, but also in the Far East, China, Japan, China especially. They see 8s as fancy. It doesn't matter how it's all patterned out. They see notes that begin with 168 as well in Chinese culture, which is incredibly desirable, and people usually pay a lot of money for those. But we have 6 of a kind 7s on this really nice gem looking note. Again, not too many people, think or consider that this could be worth anything. And it's only 24 digits off from solid sevens. I mean, that is epic in itself. $38 with 9 bids. Very fair offer. Very fair sell price on that one. We have a 2 digit binary. It's a radar, as a matter of fact. So it reads 4644 4464. And it's on a $1 bill, 2017 series, 17 bids for $37 was the realized price on eBay. And you can see that again, we're talking about a note here that looks like it came out of someone's wallet here recently. A few stainages on there. But overall, a really nice, eye appealing serial number. The way that it's arranged as a radar with only two distinct digits, a binary of sorts, ended up selling for a pretty decent amount of money. Really cool one. Super Radar Bookend Sevens, 2 digit binary, whatever you want to call it. What a huge sale this one was. $291, 36 bids. It's adorned on a 2017 series $1 bill. This one has seen a great many cash registers in its time. But all in all, still very impressive. That serial number just pops. It pops out at you when you're sitting there, looking at it. And it's been through many dozens, if not hundreds, of people's hands and wallets and purses, scrunched up in a ball, put into someone's pocket, going through the lunch line at school. You can imagine the stories that these notes have told. And George Washington just wants to become animated and say, look, with his little black and white pointer of a finger, look at that serial number. It'll make you famous. And sure enough, this is a monster sale. Almost $300 for that thing. So yeah, bad oriented photos. Otherwise, this is a really cool note. $50 bill with 1 bid. So it's I'm starting it here. You either want it or you don't. All right. So it says Tanma 1572. Sure, you could call it binary. You could call it 7 of a kind zeros, which is a terminology that's not used too much with a bunch of zeros. Like, I mean, my $1 bill here has 6 of a kind zeros. But, anyways, really cool serial number. I think this is probably a steal of a deal, even in this condition, which isn't too bad. It's got a little paper wave to it. $50 was the sale on that one. Another true binary, although this one did not sell for nearly as much as the previous two notes that we saw about 2 minutes ago, and probably because it has no corresponding consecutive serial number that was being sold as a separate note. Because I have a feeling that one person bought both those notes, and that's why the price went so high, is that it has kind of like a matching set. So this one sold for a C note. There you go. Ones and zeros, true binary. There you go. Condition does matter in certain occasions, which will suppress values if two notes of the same similar type of fancy were available in the marketplace. One was crisp uncirculated, fresh out of the BEP pack, or something like this. People are going to concentrate their resources on the one that's in a lot better shape, and then this is going to be their kind of like fall back on type of note. Yeah, I mean, it's $100. It's $100. It's a really good magician's trick when you can turn a $1 bill into 100. We see it all the time, but this is like reality spoken true here. We have a few more notes, ladies and gentlemen. We have another best offer bid here. This one is. I'm willing to bet that this one's crazier than it looks, and it's really not all that impressive. So the serial number reads 70705555. It's a hybrid of a super repeater and a of a kind serial number. So you have 4 of a kind fives, and you have 7070, which again are two popular hybrid spin-offs of a full serial number. Like a super repeater is 70 repeated over times 4 on the serial number. This one is half of that. I love these though. I've sold a few hybrids before in my life. I've sold a ladder in a row. I think it read two, three, four, five, 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 and I ended up selling that. I think it was a $2 bill or something, a $5 bill. I sold that thing for like $60, and that was like 12 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. So the market has come a long way since then. There's a lot more interest, a lot more people collecting into these, hunting for these. By the way, brand new 2021 notes are live right now. They just released a few months ago. But this is a really cool hybrid. Now, the moment of truth has come. Let's see how much this one had sold for because it is a best offer. You can see $95 was the original ask. And we're back on 130 point. Let's go ahead and paste over that one. And let's see what our results are. Wow, $35 for that one. I was figuring 10, $15, based off of condition and the fact that, it's a hybrid. Hybrids don't generally sell for that much. And the seller feedback is 83%, which is not good. Granted, they are new at 11 feedback score. Could be a lot better, but that's a heck of a sale. $35. Don't bat an eye at that. Take it and run. And finally, the last note, gonna knock your socks off, is this one here. Yeah, I mean, if you guys are paying any attention whatsoever to the bottom right set of serial numbers where it looks like a binary, zeros and sevens, and then you look at the other set of serial numbers, look at the last number. It's a 9. It's a mismatch serial number error in our faces right now. And the notes circulated. As you could tell, it's got a centerfold. It's got a little bit of minor kind of handling wear. Nothing again too wild and crazy, but check out that final sell, $668, 14 total bids. It was organically processed and bid up to this amount of money. That is one hell of a sale price, guys. And again, this is just kind of like the stories and everything that you've heard so much about these things possibly selling for money or not. It's all coming true right in front of us. And these are seriously like 15 plus notes that we just discussed that had sold within the last 24 hours. I'm telling you, when I started doing this report a few months ago, I had to go back like 4 or 5 days to be able to obtain 15 to 20 notes to talk about. And now we're realizing it here on a much quicker speed to market. Everybody's getting involved. Everybody has their hands in the pot. Everybody wants to hunt these things because it's like freezy freaking tendies, right? It's like it's always been the bank has always stolen from its consumer. The dollar is worthless. And now this is how the dollar, fiat currency, is being worth something today. Is by serial numbers, for crying out loud. So take advantage of it while you still can, because I have a feeling if we're going to be looking at 1 year from today, the amount of people that's going to be hunting for these fancy serial numbers is going to be easily probably 8 to 10 fold. I'm just saying, you know what that's going to do? That's going to put a burden on all the banks to be able to get more of this money, to get fresh original inventory. And, there are still pockets around the country where there is a lot of currency that nobody ever hunts through. All right. So, it's still a very new, it's still a very, very much growing aspect of numismatics. And it's one that's paying pretty big dividends, ladies and gentlemen. So get involved now, build your riches, build your wealth by reselling money. I know that's a crazy notion, right? But that's why I wanted to talk about. It was a lot of fun. It was great to show off my 2013B duplicate star with the crazy looking serial number. I like it. And yeah, that's your fancy serial number market in a nutshell. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. So I want you guys to have fun with this hobby. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day. And I shall see you guys on the next coin and currency video. All right, take care now.